All right, hello everybody. Thank you for coming today to the presentation. Just a little bit of housekeeping quickly before we get started. Please do keep yourself on mute during the presentation. During the question and discussion periods, though, you're more than welcome to unmute yourself. We will be recording this, so if you don't wish to be part of the recording, please feel free to turn off your camera. And as well, because we are recording this, if you would like a copy of the recording or any previous webinar recordings, please feel free to email me at communications@pero.ca. I will put that in the chat for everybody. But let's get started. So again, thank you everybody for joining us today. I know we have people across Canada today, and some of you might still be in the morning. So thank you for coming so early. It is an honor to introduce today's speaker, Fiona, also known as the Clean Kitchen Coach. Fiona has been helping people declutter their homes, offices, and their lives for over a decade. Through her journey, Fiona discovered that the skills she has used to create order and reduce stress in the office could be applied far beyond it. Now she teaches others how to declutter not just their offices, but their entire homes, relationships, calendars, and even negative thoughts and beliefs. Fiona's expertise is backed by her life coaching certificate from the prestigious Robin Madden's Institute, founded by Tony Robbins. She's a published author of 3 books and was recently featured on the CBC Morning Show with Mary Jean Cormier. She also hosts a free weekly Zoom class every Wednesday to offer people accountability as they take their first steps towards a clutter-free life. And here's a powerful fact. When you combine journaling with weekly accountability, you're 76% more likely to achieve the results you're aiming for. So please join me in welcoming Fiona, the Clean Kitchen Coach, as she starts her insights on decluttering to create space for what truly matters.
Great. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. Kaylee, I can see 2 participants. Do we have more than that?
We do. So you just see the people with their cameras on.
I see. Okay. So I am wondering, before we get started, if anybody wanted to share why they came to this particular seminar and what they're hoping to learn.
Just be aware, if you don't feel comfortable unmuting yourself to answer, you're more than welcome to put your answers in the chat and I can relay them to Fiona.
Well, I can start off by saying that I came to learn some of the practicalities of decluttering. I think I've, read a fair bit of kind of popular literature about this. And I've read Fiona's book, but I really would like to hear some of the practicalities of decluttering. I must admit, if I repeat the notion that we moved a house that we had lived in for 36 years 2 years ago, and that was a marvelous opportunity to declutter.
And Tina has put in the chat, I need to declutter my desk. I hope to get some practical tips and tricks that I can implement immediately.
Awesome. Okay. So I think that this presentation is exactly what you guys need then. Mary Margaret, 36 years, you said? You lived in one place? Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be a lot of belongings, right? If we didn't declutter along the way, after 36 years, there would be a lot.
Well, there's a lot, and plus then you have your children who need to store their stuff in your house, and you have, I mean, it goes on, but you're right, it was a lot.
Yeah, it's a very big issue, right? Because like you said, it's not just your stuff, it's other people's stuff. So let's get started. What I have found in my 10 years plus of decluttering is that there's kind of 3 levels of people who are able to maintain their office, right? So the first level is everything has a designated place and it's always stored there, right? Have you guys gone into these people's offices where nothing is ever out of place? As soon as they use a pen, they put it back in the jar. As soon as they're done with a piece of paper, they file it. These people, they have developed systems that work, and they also have what's called a solid grasp on their clutter threshold. So a clutter threshold is how much stuff you can maintain. For me, I have a super low clutter threshold, like super low. If I have more than the bare minimum of stuff, I get overwhelmed. I don't put anything away, and the clutter just begins to suffocate me. Other people, they could have a ton of stuff and they just can handle it. So people who can handle it, they understand their clutter threshold. And they also know that it's easier to keep things clean than it is to tidy up. Just for example, if you have a bunch of paperwork on your desk and you have to rifle through things to get to what you need, that's going to take more time than right now. Okay, here's my example. Right now, the only thing on my desk is this book, because I wanted to show you guys this book. So I don't have to rifle through anything. I can just pick it up and show you that it's right here. That's going to save you a bunch of time, and it's way easier to stay clean and tidy than it is to get clean and tidy. Does anybody have any comments on that? Is anybody a level 1? If you're level 1, you're probably not here. If we were in person, I would say you're here just for the cookies, because we usually have some food at a seminar. Okay, so then the next level of decluttering is that most things do have a home. Some need to go back to their home, and some just need to leave your office. These people, they need a few decluttering rules and strategies to follow. And most importantly, they need the time. So if you're starting to feel a little bit of clutter creep up on you, my number 1 recommendation is to make the time to declutter, because other things will take priority. So if you want to have a decluttered space, you're going to have to make the time for it. And the third level of people, I rarely see this, and you probably won't admit to it, but there are some people out there that they are one purchase away from having to tunnel their way to their photocopier. Things might have a home, but they absolutely never go there. And most of the time, the items are no longer relevant and they just need to leave the office. So if you guys maybe just wanted to put in the comments of if you're a level 1 where everything's in its place, level you need a little bit of time and a little bit of strategy, or number 3 where you're like, I can't even have clients come into my office because it's too cluttered.
And while we're waiting for them to put that in, I can read out. So Trisha, I am a licensed realtor and I have launched a decluttering business last year because there is a real need. But due to the slow economic climate here in the Maritime, decluttering is a want, not a need. And I'm always looking to hear what others in the industry recommend, etc. I'm also looking to add MBSR, mindful-based stress reduction, to my business to help with overwhelm. And Donna has said, I want to stop losing/misplacing things and have a tidier/organized workspace. And we have Holly and Mary Margaret both say they are level 2 for sure.
Okay. Yeah, can anyone else relate to not being able to find things when they want to find them? Like, how frustrating is that? How much time and energy are we wasting on that? Okay, so here's the thing. Are you happy with the level you're at? So we identified what level you are, and now I just need to know, are you happy with it? Because if you're happy with it, great, fantastic. I do have people that say, leave my clutter alone. I like my clutter, it makes me happy. And then there are other people that like, no, I'm not happy, I need some help. So if you just wanted to let us know, are you happy? Are you okay with your clutter? Or are you willing to learn some new tips and tricks? Did anyone say they were happy? Was anybody like, I love my clutter?
Like they're always looking to improve. Yes, I need to improve. I will admit I am the person that is happy with their clutter. I have organized chaos.
Organized chaos. And just for the person that said organized chaos, does their clutter affect anybody around them? Just curious.
Oh,
I can't say mine does.
well, I have to admit, my husband is very likely a level 3 person with his desk and his spaces. But he doesn't want me to touch anything at all because he says he knows exactly where everything is.
Okay, follow-up question. When he says he knows where everything is and you ask him to go get something, can he go get it?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. What I find is people are like, I know exactly where things are, but they don't actually have a general idea. And it's still hard for them to get it, right? Because they have to go through so many things to get exactly what they want.
Mhm.
See, where is my organized chaos? It makes sense in my brain because I've actually, it's a funny story. Even this morning, my mother's like, hey, I need specifically a blue hair tie. Do you have one? I'm like, yes, I do. It's in the third shelf, top shelf of my drawer in the very back around a walnut. Don't ask me why it's around a walnut. I don't know either.
A walnut.
Okay, so that's interesting, is how some people's brains can be very organized like that and know that there's a blue hair tie tied around a walnut, and other people would be like, I didn't even remember that I owned a blue hair tie or a walnut, right? Okay, so I want you guys to know, like, from the bottom of my heart, I totally believe this, that clutter is not your fault. Here's why it's not your fault. Marketing experts invest millions of dollars to manipulate you into buying things that promise to make your life better or easier. So you're at the store and you didn't intend to buy something and you come home with something and you're, why did I even buy that? Okay, well, literally the positioning of the objects in the store, the packaging, all of these things have been tested to figure out what is going to motivate you to buy stuff you don't need. Another reason why it's not your fault is because we are told that you should be inherently clean and know how to organize. That is not true. Being clean and organized is a skill, not a personality trait that you're born with. And even if you've already curated a perfect system for organizing your stuff, life is not static. It doesn't remain the same. And so when you transition from one life stage to another, so even if there's a illness, if there's a loved one that you now have to take care of, there's a loved one now that you don't have to take care of, your interests have changed, your hobbies have changed, your physical capabilities have changed. All these things affect how your systems work. So if you've always been able to maintain a clean home and all of a sudden you're a new mom, this is all new. Everything shifts when that shifts. So now you have to figure out how you're going to clean and how you're going to organize with this new challenge. And that is why clutter is not your fault. But now that you know that it's not your fault, now that I've let you in on the secret, now you unfortunately are responsible for changing things. But don't worry, I can help you with that. Okay. So here's the thing about decluttering. You are probably most likely almost 100% guaranteed to actually make or save money when you declutter. So I know that you're excited about this, and how I know that you're excited about this is because I think everyone here is a woman, right? There is nothing that excites a woman more than boasting about saving or making money. Am I right? So, right, you get a new shirt, somebody compliments it. What do you say? I got it on sale, right? We love to save money. And how you're going to save or earn money with decluttering is you'll stop spending money on things you already own. Now, I know that you've done this. I know it, right? Because everyone has. So you are looking for paper clips. You can't find paper clips. So what do? You go buy more paper clips. Or you're buying paper clips and they're buy one, get one. So you buy two, you go to your office, you have the extra one. What do you do with it? You put it off into storage somewhere, and then you forget that you've bought it. And then you go back to the stores and buy one, get one again. So now you're like going home, going back to the office, and you go to store your buy one, get one find, and your cupboard's already full of it, but you forgot that you had it. Another way that you are going to save money is you're going to stop buying storage solutions. So this is what happens every single time I go to help somebody declutter. And even though I always tell them don't do this, but they always do it. I arrive at their space and they're like, look, I bought all these storage bins. So you don't want to actually buy storage bins. What you want to do is declutter. And usually when you're decluttering, you will find storage solutions. I also recommend that you let your storage solutions that you already have be the bad guy and let them do the containing. So for example, if I have one like cup that fits pens, I know that I can only keep the pens that fit comfortably in that cup, and then everything else has to go. Some people, what they do is they buy a storage unit. And this is actually a leading, like a rising industry right now, is people investing in storage units. So I actually haven't met too many people that do this, but there are a handful that they have storage units, and maybe they're keeping their Christmas decor in there. And so they have to drive to the unit, get their decor, and come home. Now me, I would never do that. I am just never going to have that kind of energy in me. If I'm going to do that, then I'm just going to donate the Christmas stuff, and then next year go to the store and buy new stuff, because that's going to be cheaper than renting a storage unit. And I'm going to be worried about storing it properly at a storage unit. And then other people, they might even think what they need is a bigger office. Now, this may be true, but I challenge you, instead of getting a bigger office, first try decluttering. Okay, and the third way that you're going to save money is you're going to make money, because you're going to find hidden money. So I would say 100% of the time when I've helped somebody declutter, I have found hidden money in envelopes and magazines, in drawers. You're also going to save money by avoiding penalties from missing payments on misplaced bills. Okay, so now, does anybody have anything to add before I go on?
Tina did comment, I don't overshop / overbuy. My thing is more about not getting rid of things and not putting things back in their places.
Okay. So you're not getting rid of things and you're not putting them back in places. That might be a time issue. Do you find that you have enough time to put things away properly? Or is it like, I don't have space because I have too much stuff? That was Tina, right?
Correct.
Is she responding?
Yeah. It's time and procrastination, she says.
Okay. So we'll get to, I don't really, like, procrastination is something that I think that we can easily use it as like an excuse. I'm procrastinating, but generally it's not about procrastination. It's about not having the skills or the time or the desire. But if you know it's important, and you have the skill, and you have the time, and you have the energy, then procrastination disappears. Okay. Before you begin, we're going to create a mission statement and link it to your highest value. So what this means is that a mission statement will clearly define your vision for what you want to achieve and why you must achieve it. So before you do any goal, it's important to really evaluate, is this goal important to me, right? If you are here today because, I don't know, when I went through Paro, there was funding available and we had to attend these. So if somebody is forcing you against your will to be at this seminar, and now I'm forcing you to come up with a mission statement, there's not much that will actually motivate you to do it, right? If it's not in your heart to do it, then it's a really big challenge. If instead you're like, yeah, I really hear you, Fiona. I hear what you're saying about it's going to save me time and money if I declutter, and I'm really invested in saving time and money. So yes, I want to do this. Then what you would do then is think about something that's already super important to you. For example, for me, hanging out with my kids is super important to me. I really enjoy spending time with them. They're not kids, they're adults, but I really enjoy spending time with them. So if I was to say, okay, I have to clean my office and now I have to link that to my highest value, which is my kids, then I would say, I'm going to spend time and money on my children. And where I'm going to get the time and money from is by cleaning the office. Is anybody willing to share what their mission statement would be? Why would it be clean? Why is it important to you to have a decluttered office, and who would it benefit? How would you tap into your highest value?
I don't really have like a mission statement that I can just rhyme out to you, but I feel like when we go back to those first few slides that you showed, um, when my home and my office is organized and minimal, my brain feels better. I feel more relaxed. I feel more productive. So I guess my mission statement is just to align my surroundings with the productivity that I want in my brain, in myself.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like you value productivity and peace.
Yes. And
Yeah.
don't value clutter. It makes me anxious.
Yeah. So a super simple mission statement is, I will have a clean home and office to allow for a clean mind. I heard something interesting too that I just have to share, that I was listening to a psychologist say that when you're at peace, you're more willing to be compassionate for other people. And like, what's more important than being compassionate to other people, right? Like for me, I just say, like, I heard that and I'm like, yeah, I want to be compassionate. And so if we're calm, we'll be compassionate. What a great reason to have a clutter-free home, right? Okay. The story you tell yourself, stories that are attached to your belongings will slow you down in the decluttering process. So I'd like you to identify 5 items that you would save if there was a fire in your office. People and pets are they're already safe, okay? Because everybody says, I wouldn't save anything. All that matters to me is the people. Of course, the people matter, okay? But is there something in your office, any photographs? Maybe there's a coaster in there that you got when you were on a trip with somebody that you love. Maybe there's I don't know, a certain microphone that you use that makes you remember something. So the point of this exercise is to help you to speed up the decluttering process, because you've already processed your emotions, because everything we do is based on emotions. So what you can do is you can write how you feel about these items, or you can share your stories with a coworker, friend, or family member. And what's really great about today's world is that if something is super important to you, but you don't actually want it, you just want the memory, then you can always just take a picture of it. Serves the same purpose. Is there anyone willing to share an object that's coming to their mind that is in their office right now that they really don't need or love, but they love the story that it has that's attached to it?
Hi, so I have a framed poem by my youngest son when he was in French immersion about I haven't even translated it yet, like um Mother's Day greeting in during Mother's Day. So I don't need the picture frame, and um you know, it's nice. I like the color, it's pink, but I keep it because that's the last thoughtful thing he did for me. Which is kind of sad. Well, you know, he's done other intangible things, but yeah, I don't need it, but I have it, and I don't know if I should keep it and display it, or just take a photo of it and discard the frame or something.
Does the frame make you happy?
The note inside the frame, yeah, but I don't need it to, you know.
Well, if you have room for it and it makes you happy and you're not finding that you're bombarded with clutter, then that makes sense to keep it, right? But if you are bombarded with clutter, if it doesn't bring you joy, if you're like, oh, I gotta look at that every day and, you know, it's not my aesthetic, then take a picture of it and discard it.
Okay, thanks. I probably will make it more efficient by, you know, maybe I'll add his baby hair and maybe photos behind it, so that it's not just one item that's taking up space, but it'll have other stuff behind it, you know, about him, his photos, and little things like that. So that way I
Yep.
find, you know, I won't find it like a much of a space taker, waster. Yeah.
Yeah. What's interesting about this particular item that I find is, as a mom of 3, I have collected a lot of stuff over the years, right? And then when you go back and you look at the stuff, like, why did I keep this? Or why did I put so much energy into making this beautiful album? And then like the stuff doesn't mean anything anymore. And so now a lot of it has to be torn out and thrown in the garbage, or the whole thing is thrown in the garbage, right? And so something that I have learned as a mom to adults is not a lot of stuff matters. And so therefore, just keeping a very small amount of things that you really cherish is way more efficient and productive and better for, you know, being calm than keeping a bunch of stuff and displaying it nicely and then it not meaning as much later. That's what I found. Anybody else want to share a story? Okay. So one of the things that people say to me that I kind of giggle at every time because I know the answer, but it's so overwhelming for somebody who's, you know, in the thick of it. So they're decluttering, they always look up to me and they say, I don't know how it got this bad. And I know how it got that bad. And here's how. People give you gifts and you don't want to get rid of it. But here's the thing about gifts. If somebody has given you, say a child has drawn you a picture and they give it to you, the gift isn't the picture. The gift is that they thought about you. The picture is the wrapping. And that can apply to everything that you get. Like somebody brings you a mug back from their trip to Florida. that wasn't the gift. The gift was that they thought of you while they were away. Impulse buys. So I already mentioned that you're at the checkout and there's something there and you think it's going to solve a problem, so you buy it. Grabbing a second item at a BOGO deal. Tempting value adds that we just can't resist. Also, value adds are if you buy a toaster and it comes with a pair of wooden tongs that you're never going to use, but the wooden tongs were included to make you perceive that toaster as having a higher value. One thing that everybody always keeps, like most people keep, is the little rings that tie measuring cups together. So that's meant to be on at the store to hang on the hook, right? But we bring it home and we think it's a value add to keep our stuff together in our drawer. So we keep things like that. Stickers, lots of stickers come with things. So those are value adds. And so we keep them, even though we didn't really buy that. We bought the item that came with it. Inherited items from your parents or your children or your neighbors. Does anybody do this? Their neighbor doesn't want something. They say, do you want it? And you're like, yeah, sure. And you take it. Then you feel guilty getting rid of it. Hobbies and technology that aren't relevant anymore. I used to be a scrapbooker and I had to get rid of all of that stuff because I wasn't doing that anymore. And that can be hard to get rid of things that we've invested so much money in, but also, what if I go back to doing that hobby again, right? What if my children want to take up that hobby? And then the last one is the fear of missing out. Okay. So whenever you have any goal, you need 3 things to achieve your goal. You need a heartfelt vision, so it's got to be important to you. You need the energy to achieve that goal, and you need a good plan. So let's review those things. A heartfelt vision. You want to paint a clear picture in your mind of what you want. And it's also important here to picture what you don't want. So what can be helpful is if you imagine yourself a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, if you don't change anything, if you don't make the time, don't learn how to declutter, what is your house going to look like? So maybe Mary Margaret mentioned it at the beginning, that 30-some years of stuff accumulating. So if you could just imagine what that would have looked like, Mary Margaret, if you hadn't moved at that point and maybe another 10 years went by, what would that look like, right? And you want to also attach other people to your heartfelt vision. So how is it impacting your kids or your spouse if your space is overwhelmed, or your coworkers if your space is overwhelmed with clutter? And how could it positively impact them if you learn to get rid of that stuff and live minimalistically? You want your goal to be something that inspires you and makes you feel more alive. Okay, and now you need some energy to achieve your goal. And this involves some healthy habits. You want to make sure that you get enough sleep each night. I know as business owners, it can be really easy to forsake your sleep in order to get work done. But if you get a good bedtime routine in place and you're able to sleep deeper, then you're going to be more productive the next day. You want to stay hydrated by drinking plenty of water throughout the day and eating lots of foods that are high in water content. You want to eat a balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains to give you lots of energy. Of course, you want to engage in regular physical activity, and you want to expose your eyes and sun to sunlight and nature. You want to take short breaks throughout the day and rest and recharge. I'm just going to add in here that you want to try never to multitask, because it's been proven that people who multitask are actually less productive than people who are goal-oriented and single task oriented. And this is a fun little study that they just did, that there was a group of kids with a cell phone beside them as they took a test, and the other group didn't have the cell phone beside them. So they weren't allowed to look at the cell phone. All they did was have the cell phone placed right beside them. And they found that the kids that didn't have the cell phone had double-digit improvement in their scores. So what they found was our brain is always multitasking of thinking, should I check the cell phone? What's going on with the cell phone? And just putting it away increases your mind's ability to focus. You want to practice mindfulness or meditation to reduce stress and increase mental clarity. And you want to develop routines and habits. Why are routines and habits so powerful? Because our brain has literally millions of bits of information coming at it at every moment. So if we can start to develop habits, then our brain doesn't have to focus on that. It just goes into autopilot, does what it has to do, and that frees up energy to do what it takes to achieve our goals. Okay, so now we need a plan for decluttering. I just want to take a moment to show you my 7 days to, let me see that. No, it's blurted out. 7 days to a clutter-free kitchen. So that is available on Amazon for $25. I think it's 22 plus shipping and handling. And that outlines a very detailed plan. If you don't want to buy a journal like that, you could go on YouTube and follow some other decluttering professionals, and they will have good strategies for you as well. In my book, I have 7 different plans because some people are negative, some people are positive, some people are fast, some people are slow. So I took those combinations and put them together and came up with different strategies for people to use. And you can follow them and find out which plan works best for you. The most important part of it, though, is just setting an appointment in your planner. Include the date and time that you will be decluttering. Nothing, I know I've said it lots, but nothing can get done if you don't do it. If you don't have the time to do it, it will not get done. So set it aside. Unfortunately, guys, no one can do your decluttering for you. I have thought so hard about this. How could I declutter for somebody else when they're not present? I can't do it. I have literally picked up a piece of paper and went to throw it in the trash because it was like, had like food stuck to it. And my client is like, oh, no, that's not garbage. So it cannot, you have to be a part of it. What I can do is you decide yes or no, and then from then, like, yes, keep it, or no, it goes. And from then I can do the organizing, but I cannot do the decluttering. I can make suggested piles for you as well, but you still have to go through every single thing yourself, unless you give me a set of rules. Yeah. Okay. Speaking of rules, make a set of rules that you will follow when deciding if something will stay in your office. This goes back to habits and our brain not having to work so hard. If we've already decided what the criteria is, and I have a list on an upcoming page, then we're just following rules. We're not the bad guy, right? Like, oh, this shirt is so beautiful, I want to keep it. But my rule is that if it doesn't fit my closet, then it goes. And it doesn't fit my closet, so it goes. When we have a partner, then things are easier, right? There was another study, I love studies, where they had people look at incline of a hill, and if they were with somebody, then the incline looked 30% less steep. So what that is saying is that if you have somebody with you, then the obstacle looks 30% more achievable. That's crazy, right? because of that, I have developed a free Wednesday night group from 8 to 9:30. It's only 8:30. From 8 to 8:30, you can join me for a Zoom just like this, where we get on and we declutter together. We reach our goals together. And what's great about that is you tell everybody what your goal is and how you're going to achieve it. And now you're accountable. And people are trying to achieve the same thing as you, so they are also in it with you. That forms that bond that helps you feel that you're not alone and helps things be more achievable. After you've done even a small task towards your decluttering, like, I mean, you picked up a piece of garbage and you threw it in the trash, I want you to reward yourself. If that is something that you don't usually do and you had to go out of your way and you had to give yourself a pep talk to do it, and you do it, then you need to reward yourself. And that tricks your brain as well into liking to do new things. Okay. So I'd mentioned earlier that I was going to talk about beliefs and how they impact us. So this is going to be really helpful if somebody shares with me a belief that they already have, so that I can help you to reposition your beliefs so that it's working in your favor. So, for example, a belief that that a lot of my clients have is that if they donate stuff or throw it in the garbage, then it's wasteful. So particularly if something is going into the landfill, they feel extreme guilt about that. And what I tell them is that their belief is probably that they value the environment. Would you guys agree that that would be a belief if somebody didn't want something to go into the landfill? But here's the thing. Whether it's decomposing in your house or decomposing in the landfill, doesn't change the fact that it's decomposing, right? And if it's not being used in your house and it's also not being used in the landfill, it also does not change anything about that object's usefulness, correct? So if we know that you value the environment and you're scared to throw something in the garbage because you think that it's harming the environment, instead we would say, the environment is so important to me. And what's really, really important to me is my environment around me. And therefore, I am going to clean up my environment around me. Does that make sense? Does anybody have a thought in their brain right now that is saying, I can't declutter because? So here's one. I can't declutter because my daughter might want this beautiful shirt when she's older. My daughter might want to wear my wedding dress at her wedding, so I can't declutter it, right? So what would my value be there? What am I valuing? Like, if we have to guess.
You value sentiment, family.
Yep. So if I'm valuing my family and what my family needs, what could I do in that scenario?
Maybe ask your child involved. Like I've gone through artwork before, and to me, I'd love to keep it, but I asked my kids, like, what about your report cards? And they're like, I don't want it, right? So the onus is left up to me. If I want to keep something, they've already approved that it's not gonna, it's not, doesn't mean anything to them.
Yeah.
And so, I could scan things and keep them in the cloud so that, if I were to take 5 things in an emergency, I'd probably just grab my CPU, right? Or things could probably be on the cloud, but asking people, right? Or even going to, like, I have sons and I'm like, they're not gonna, maybe their wife, future wife might want to wear my wedding dress, but it's almost so crazy. Like, but it is a very hard decision. So as long as I have space, I'll tidily maybe keep it. But if I were to downsize, I probably should have a mental list of things that I should really like let go of. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm smiling so intently because I hear these things all the time, right? And I'm really proud of you for saying, well, just ask your kids. But is there anybody that heard that and said, yeah, but what if my kid changes their mind? So not only have we said, okay, we'll ask our kid, but then we don't even value, I do this, don't even value their answer. Like, yeah, but you're 20. Maybe when you're my age, you will value this wedding dress, right?
Or my son is very sentimental, so he wants to keep, like, he loves seeing things that he did when he was in grade 3. Or so actually his girlfriend and him just went through his closet on the weekend, and she was able to really talk him into getting rid of things that I couldn't. But I really struggle with that because I would get rid of everything, and he's like, oh, I remember playing with this when I was 5. Like, oh my gosh. So it's
Right.
hard to get them to appreciate the cleanliness of the house too, because he would keep everything.
Right. Right. And if you were to say to him, okay, we really value this. We can take a picture of it and it doesn't take up space. And then shifting him to value more the space than the objects. And also really honoring him, be like, that's so cool that you love your childhood, right? And that makes you happy. And that's great. That's fantastic. So it looks like you really value your childhood. How can we honor that? Right? Like, can we make a special folder in the computer that's full of the pictures from your childhood? Could we write a book together? And then also with kids, really teaching them that life is like always changing, always evolving. And so when they have to get rid of their stuff, instead of I'm getting rid of stuff, it's I'm making room for the new stuff. And they can kind of really see it visually when you say, okay, these shoes are too small, and we're going to get rid of them so that we can make room for the bigger shoes. And so they would understand that too with the toys. You're not playing with these toys anymore, so we're going to make room for the new toys. Okay, so I'm just reading here about the physical affirmations that repeated behavior changes your beliefs. So what that means is every time you put a pencil back in the pencil case, it is a physical affirmation and it will change your beliefs. You will go from, if you're currently thinking, I'm a disorganized person and I'll never have a clutter-free space. When you put things away, you are actually changing your belief system. Surround yourself with positivity. Seek support from friends, mentors, or resources that encourage and reinforce your new beliefs. So this, to me, is the #1 way to change your behavior, is to surround yourself with other people that have the behavior that you want to emulate. So this doesn't have to be physically beside somebody. This could be books. This could be YouTube's, podcasts. It could be coming on to Zoom calls like this. It could be pictures of yourself. If you had a habit and you lost that habit and you want to get it back again, you could be looking at those pictures. And to me, there is nothing stronger than being surrounded with that energy. And we know that's true, right? If you are trying not to eat cake and you're at a birthday party and everybody's eating cake, what are you going to do? Probably going to eat cake, right? But if you were at a birthday party for me and there's no cake at my birthday party, are you going to leave my birthday party and go get yourself a piece of cake? Or are you just going to enjoy people's company instead, right? So surrounding yourself with people that have that goal is super important. Okay. If you don't know where to start, here's where you're going to start. You're going to go around your house and you're going to do a scavenger hunt for trash, or you're going to go around your office and do a scavenger hunt for trash. You're going to look for pens that don't have ink in it. You're going to look for expired coupons and old hardware and instruction manuals that you could easily find on the internet, or outdated business cards. That's all I want you to do. Go around finding trash. And what this is going to do is it's going to build that muscle, that decluttering muscle for you. And remember, you're going to celebrate this too. You're not just going to be like, do it and move on to the next task. Then you're going to celebrate by painting your nails or putting some hand cream on, or going for a walk somewhere that you love, or petting your favorite animal, whatever you need to do to reinforce with your brain that you just did something wonderful. Okay, here, I'm just trying to speed through this because we only have a couple minutes left. This is my decluttering list. And it's my decluttering list. But it might be a jumping off point for you. So these are some rules that I follow when I'm decluttering. And most importantly, these are non-negotiable rules for decluttering. So everybody has to follow these rules. Always be kind. And what that means is when I'm decluttering people, they will inevitably start berating themselves, saying, like, why can't I do this? This was so stupid to buy this, things like that. And I want you to know that that is not helpful. And it is way more helpful to just be kind. And instead of saying those things, say, I'm so happy that I'm making time to do this right now. I'm so proud of myself that I'm getting this done. And another non-negotiable is never, ever, ever declutter items that don't belong to you. If you want to change other people's behavior, the only way that you can do that is to inspire them by changing your own behavior. I also can work with you if you need to have a conversation with somebody else and let them know how their clutter is impacting your mental health or your physical well-being. There are polite, kind, loving ways to have that conversation, and I can help you with that.
Right, can we scoot back to the 2 slides over? We had a long list for just a few seconds. Yeah, this one. Yeah, thanks.
Are you writing it down or just reading it?
Just reading. I'll get a copy, but just so it's like it's a little longer, so I have time to read. Yeah.
I'm
thanks.
posting a picture of it in the chat for you there. So
Okay, perfect.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, so lastly, if you're looking at hiring a professional to help you, the most important part is that you like their personality, because you are going to be spending a lot of time with them. I do offer a free first hour visit so that you can see if we get along and if you like my methods. You want somebody who will respect your confidentiality for sure, because we're probably going to find some pretty personal items when we're decluttering. And you want somebody who works at your pace. Like I said, some people are fast, some people are slow, some people are negative, and by negative, I just mean that they are motivated by not like by pain rather than pleasure. It's a bit of a different topic. And that they charge you a fair price. So my price is $50 an hour, and the first hour is free. And if you just want some extra help, then join me tonight for my free Zoom class. It happens every Wednesday from 8 till 8:30. Are there any questions?
Is there anywhere to buy your book other than Amazon?
I can get you a copy. Are you in Thunder Bay?
No, I'm far
No.
away.
Yeah. It's actually, just so you know, the book is the lowest price that I can put on Amazon. They literally won't let me put it any lower. So yeah, so
Yeah,
the price,
Canadians.
it's not about the price. It's just about trying to not support Amazon anymore.
right?
Do you have
Yeah.
like a downloadable book or anything like that?
Yeah, I can send you a free PDF if you like.
Yeah, I'll send you the amount that is on Amazon. Actually, if you send me the PDF, I would just rather you get the money than them.
Aw, thank you. Yes, so I just need your email address. How am I gonna get that?
I'll send you a message through your website and we can work it out offline. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Does anyone have any other questions for Fiona? Nope. Okay, because nothing in the chat. So I have also put all those slides that the last couple that Fiona has shared, so you can save them. They have her contact info, the info about her Zoom classes, as well as her donate list is in there. If anybody would like a copy of today's recording, please feel free to send me an email at communications@paro.ca. I'll put that in the chat again. And then other than that, thank you so much, everybody, for coming. And just a quick little reminder, we will be hosting our International Women's Day event on March 6th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is a hybrid event, so there are both virtual and in-person attendance available. If you guys are interested in attending that and joining us for that day, or even just part of the day, please feel free to go to our website at www.paro.ca. Otherwise, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you again in the future. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
I can